How you doing today? Tampa, Florida, 813. Please stand up. No losses, just lessons. It's your boy Mike Trigg.
Saba, Baptiste. Welcome, Tampa Bay. Today we're going to discuss, of course, Dr. Martin Luther King, and we're going to give you some surface information, but we are going to ask you to go and do some of your research to go deeper. And we're going to just talk about what he was to people, and hopefully this January the 20th is a federal holiday. Hopefully we'll all want to do a day of service or find out more about who was Dr. Martin Luther King. So he was an American Baptist minister, activist, and political philosopher who was one of the most prominent leaders in the civil rights movement from 1955 until his assassination in 1968. Born January the 15th, 1929, Atlanta, Georgia. Died 1968. He was 39 years old. Attended multiple universities. The first one was Bachelor's of Sociology in 1948, Morehouse College. Admitted to Morehouse at age 15. Number two, the Crozer Theological Seminary School. Dr. King at the Crozer Theological Seminary, Bachelor's of Divinity in 1951. Number three, a doctorate in philosophy and systemic theology, earned in 1955. He went on to fight for civil rights. And in all of that time, he was actually he had honorary degrees from Harvard, just to mention one, and various other universities. He spoke on everything from social and racial justice to nonviolence, poverty, the Vietnam War, and dismantling white supremacy. I'm going to mention just a few of his speeches. The first one, I have been to the mountaintop.
Powerful.
The next one, the iconic one, I have a dream. That was 1963, August the 28th. And number three, letter from Birmingham jail. A quote from Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., finite. We must accept infinite disappointment, but never lose, let me repeat that. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. And that's his quote. His last speech was on April the 3rd, 1968. I have been to the mountaintop. So we think that's a good speech to research and understand what he meant by that. Dr. King was assassinated on April the 14th, 1968, on the second floor balcony outside his room at the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. So, a value added to learn more about Dr. King and other Black American leaders during the Civil Rights era. Prominent Black Americans was responsible for today's freedom. We enjoy today's freedom because of the Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Movement was a movement that also, not only for Black Americans, because of that, the quotas of American immigration was lifted to let other non-whites come into America. So Dr. Martin Luther King and Black citizens here in America was a reason why a lot of non-white immigrants was able to come to this country. So we're going to open the discussion and ask Mike and others, what are they going to do this Martin Luther King holiday, which is his birthday, on January the 20th, 2025, Monday.
Yeah, so what we decided to do every year, it's going to be our 8th annual Konan Feed the City, but we decided to do it on MLK, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, which is Monday. So we're expecting a multitude of people to come out and partake in it. We have a parade already, but at the parade we're going to open up the doors here from 10 to 4. Have a DJ, we got drinks, we got everything. We're looking forward to having a great turnout and a great time. Martin Luther King is one of my favorite people because what he stood for in the face of facing violence, disrespect, and he was the first one to always want to do it a certain way, you know, non-violently, and that's commendable. Now, you know, when you're talking about the movement in the 60s, he was with the civil rights movement. However, Malcolm X was another guy in the movement, but it was different. And, you know, I think I was looking on something on Instagram the other day where, you know, Malcolm X was saying that Malcolm wanted us to go where we couldn't and sit in, you know, where we wasn't wanted. Well, Elijah Muhammad teaches us, other Muslims, to say, well, don't go where we're not wanted, just go over here and build our own. And I love that, to be honest with you. You know, Martin Luther King always wanted separate but equal. If we couldn't have it separate, let it be equal. You know, we always try to compromise for the greater good, but compromising really, man, we lost a lot of people doing those compromises. You know what I'm saying? So on MLK Day, it gives you a lot. I look forward to retorting, just looking back on how things was when I was a kid, and how eager and how hungry we was for education. And now I see the kids of the day, they don't understand how hard people fought for the rights that we do have today. And to see them not take advantage of it, man, it's disheartening. I'm being honest with you.
Right. No, that's true. One of the big things that we have to remember is that Martin Luther King, because he wasn't the only one, but he was the face of the movement. And because he was the face of the movement, he gave his life, right? The ultimate sacrifice is his life. And so we have to honor that. January the 15th is his birthday. It's a federal holiday which falls on January 20th this year. So that's why we kind of like give honor to him in January. But he had a lot of powerhouses behind him. And also we have to remember, we were fighting for civil rights. Lynching was going on, rapes was going on, all kind of killings and murders was going on to prevent our movement. And there were other people with us, but the majority of us was Black Americans making that sacrifice. And we lost a lot of lives, like Mike said, during that process. But we also need to realize once it went into effect, part of that fight was, hey, lift those quotas, because at the time, America had a lot of quotas, and they stopped a lot of non-white minorities from coming to the United States. Well, how the law was drawn up at that time, he said, well, we need to take those quotas off and allow immigration from other non-white countries to come in here. So in essence, Black people gave their lives so other people, non-Black people, can come into America. And this is the time we get to talk about that and how has it been in terms of relationships and understanding why Black Americans did that. So you want to go and add to that?
So it says, home of the brave, land of the free. Land of the free, home of the brave. Mm-hmm. And really, for us, it's always been home of the brave. Mm-hmm. And when I think about the sacrifices, it put tears in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? And what bothers me most, that the younger generation has forgotten or have not been educated about the labors and the the hardships and the heartaches that the people that provided this freedom that we have today.
Exactly.
And they're not taking advantage of it.
And also, when you challenge your kids or just a community on finding out, going deeper than surface, because we're giving you surface information today. Anybody can find it on the internet. But when you want to go deep, what they call below the line, you're going to find out how the 13th Amendment, which happened a long time when Black Americans came out of slavery, how that plays into the civil rights, how the 14th Amendment plays into the civil rights, and how the 15th Amendment. So you have a chance to keep this going. Black Americans, we're actually called freemen. We're called freemen. That was in the legislation. Black Americans supposed to have all rights to this land just like anybody else. But we're still in that box that we're not getting those things. So that's why we have to remember, we have to know our history, because there may be a young person that's going to go out and make a big difference for a whole lot of us. Right, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with that. So like what she's saying pretty much, I remember Martin Luther King always said that they always want us to say that we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And what they were saying was, and the problem that Martin Luther King had with that, he said, well, they was given hundreds of acres of land in the Midwest. To Europeans, you know what I'm saying? But to people of color, black people, that was brought here forcefully, they gave us nothing. They gave us nothing, and then they always say, well, you need to do this for yourself. Y'all just lazy. No, we built the country. We literally built the country, and even, I'm gonna take it a step further. Like Muhammad Ali was another person
I love
in the movement that stood for everything. And he was saying like when he refused to go into the military, he was saying like, dude, it's not that I don't love this country, but this country don't love me.
That's right.
And we've been faced with that so many times. So what Ali was saying like, damn, you know, y'all want me to go over here? How you guys doing? Appreciate it. All right. How you guys want me to go over here and fight this in a war over here? Well, these people never did nothing for me. Y'all won't fight for me. Y'all won't stand for me right here in Louisville, Kentucky. Y'all won't give me quality right here. Right. But y'all gonna put me in the draft and send me over here to fight for a country that when blacks came back from World War II, it was frowned upon. But when whites came back, just being honest with you can look it up. They was giving houses, they was giving grants to build houses, but not so much for the black people. So on a day like this right here, when this man gave his life, and man, we have parades all over the country because he was that guy for us. And he did it in a certain way. He did it like Jackie Robinson did in Major League Baseball. Jackie Robinson wasn't the best black player to break. He wasn't the best. They had Satchel Paige. They had Josh Gibson. But they chose Jackie because they knew he can endure what he had to do, what he endured. Malcolm X, he wasn't going. Nah, you motherfucker, you hit me. Excuse me, you hit me, I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna make sure you don't hit the next person. Well, Martin Luther King, it was nonviolent. You know, somebody slap him, give him the other cheek. Now, that's tough. That's tough, man. How long, not long, that's one of my favorite speeches. Research that one. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about the walk from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery. See, I've been to Selma. I taught school in Selma. I spent some time in Montgomery, so I know the history.
The Pettis Bridge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So one of my classmates, my roommate, best friend, got married in Montgomery. And my other roommate, Anthony Hall, was sitting on the steps of the Capitol. And I said, boy, do you know where you sitting at? There's so much history right here. Yes. And he didn't know. So I sat there and we just started talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So this is a day where on tomorrow morning, if you're a mother or father, before y'all go to the parades, get your kids up, man, and put on them speeches. Let them hear. Oh, he got a great voice. Yes,
iconic.
He has a way with speeches. There's one speech, I can't quote it verbatim, but he was in Harlem doing a book signing. And a dejected black woman came up to him and said, "Are you Martin Luther King Jr.?" And without raising his head, he was signing the book, "Yes, I am." She began to stab him. And they called and rushed him into the ambulance, got him to the hospital. And Martin Luther King said he got letters from all over America, the president, the mayor, the governor. But the letter he chose to read was from a white girl from White Plains, Alabama. And she said, "Dr. Martin Luther King, I might add that I'm a white girl from White Plains, Alabama, and I heard of your misfortune." And they said that when a lady had stabbed him, if he had sneezed, he would have drowned in his own blood. And that letter that white girl wrote, she said, "I'm so glad that you didn't sneeze, because if you did, it would have been the end." You know, so out of all the fanfare, he was still in the time where his life was on the line. He was about to die. He chose that letter for the world to hear. You know, so that dude right there loved people.
Yes.
And I love people. And we still fighting for racial equality, equality for all mankind. And that's his dream. That's his dream. And I'm still fighting for it. I'm gonna fight for it to the day I die. But I want you guys to just get up in the morning, man, put those speeches on, man, and educate your kids. If they don't understand, they can't comprehend what he's saying, you should be able to sit down and say, "This is what he's saying right here."
And also, it's no need now not to know. You don't have to wonder. You have knowledge at your fingertips. You have to take the time, 15 minutes a day, and educate yourself, because you're going to need to educate yourself more and more, not just on Dr. Martin Luther King. We have so much history, you know, all the inventions that people want to drown out. But America wouldn't be America without those inventions.
No.
And if you think about it, you know, people like to compare Dr. Martin Luther King, well, not compare, but they like to say Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, both are very loved in the black community. Both are people that we knew they were towing the weight, you know, we knew that, and they both was assassinated. So even if people say Dr. Martin Luther King stood for no violence, nonviolence, and Malcolm perhaps did, but at his last years, maybe not, because he had changed his direction. Both ended up in the same place, assassinated.
Right.
So
let me just stop you right there. Even though his pilgrimage to Mecca, he didn't change his philosophy. You know what I'm saying? He still believed that if you put your hands on me,
absolutely,
you know,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. No.
Yeah.
No, I was saying that he actually made himself be more inclusive after he came back.
Definitely.
That was the thing I was mentioning. And also, one of the famous things that Dr. Martin Luther King did that was very iconic, he said this statement, "I believe I led my people into a burning building." And that was when he started turning. He started thinking about economics for the Black Americans. He said that it's no need in you, and this is not a quote, this is how I'm interpreting it. He said, "You're doing sit-ins, but if you allowed in and you can't buy the coffee, what good is it?" Right. And he talked about economics.
Right. So that goes back to the teaching of Elijah Muhammad. You know, like when Malcolm said, we're going to sit in where you get spit on and just tormented and just made you feel less than, you know, beaten, and then you get thrown in jail for sitting in.
Right.
But Elijah Muhammad taught the Muslims, no, we're not going to sit in. We're going to go over here. We're going to build our own just as good, you know. And
if not better.
If not better. So. And that's what it is. But the thing about what I like about, they try to put them against each other, Malcolm and Martin. They respected each other so much
very much.
When in Birmingham, they bombed a church and killed 4 little girls. And Malcolm was coming to Birmingham. We're gonna straighten this out. He's coming with violence. And Martin had to meet him and say, hey, if you come to Birmingham right now and you do what you want to do, we're going to lose this fight with the civil rights movement. Out of respect for Martin,
Stand down.
he stood down and he then had a stroke on his left side. Because when they killed them 4 girls, man, he just thought about his children, you know? So
So I think May the 19th going to be exciting because that's Malcolm X's birthday. So we're gonna talk about him as the months go by too. But these people in between January, every month we have these iconic black leaders. We have them who went out and fought. And that's why a lot of black people, black Americans, can't understand immigrants' behavior towards them when you wouldn't be in America if it wasn't for a Martin Luther King or the blood that all the people died and got lynched. I mean, the sacrifice is tremendous. And we're still spinning from that because we carry the weight of being the resistance and nobody else is on our side, you know?
Right.
So that's one of those things I think children needs to understand. We're asking you to understand your history and love it and embrace it because black history is American history.
Exactly.
That's what it is. You can't separate it. It is American history.
So let me ask you a question. What do you know about Martin Luther King Jr.? Do you know anything about him?
I learned a little bit about him in school, but not too much.
Okay, like, well, so tell me what you learned. So I just like.
Well, I know his speeches.
Okay.
He was both speeches, and he's fighting for his community. But I'm not really sure what the specifics. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Right.
So, any time that you're in America, and the dude that was that significant, you got to be thirsty to understand about the things that he's accomplished and the things he's done. So even like Jimmy Carter, you know what I'm saying? He was raised around black people, and I found myself just searching for Jimmy Carter because I want to know what kind of person, because I didn't really know a lot of him about him. But then I researched it, you know what I'm saying? So you have an opportunity not to know about what people tell you, but do your own research. You know what I'm saying?
I'd like to add to that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, you good.
So the citizenship test, when someone come into America, this is how significant Dr. Martin Luther King is. He's right up there with the presidents. You get the same kind of question to ask who is, like for instance, what is the 13th Amendment or 14th Amendment, 15th? And then they go down to the civil rights. His picture, his information is right there. And just before that, all the presidents are there, you know? So he's significant. He's not like somebody, oh, he did a little bit. No, he actually brought a whole lot of people with him and where we are today. So Martin Luther King, people can like him or not, but you can't deny his work. His work was significant in having everybody, all of these different races and everybody in America, because I like to add, when the census started, it was only white and black in America. That's the only census they were counting. Yeah, that's the white and black. And it was, I guess, the slave owners and the slaves. That's what it was. And so as time went on, and the march started, that's when you saw civil rights being significant, you know, to bring in, once we got civil rights, then the quotas was lifted and non-whites could come into America. Right. So, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Add to that.
Yeah, so I gotta ask you a question. No, I'm talking to Miss Geraldine. How you doing, Miss Geraldine? Okay. So let me ask you a question. Give me a person that you do know about. You don't know too much about Martin Luther King. Give me a person that's a leader in your community that you do know about, that's of your color.
Prophet Muhammad.
I can hear you.
Prophet Muhammad.
Okay. Yeah, so what you know about him?
Well, I watched a movie, and in the Quran, it's good to know about the history, because the Quran does not fully explain like some like how to pray.
Right.
So you gotta pray.
Right.
And where do you learn how to pray? You learn from Prophet Muhammad. So I know about his like the battles he did and the lessons learned, especially because they're also taught again in the Quran.
Right.
I read.
Okay, so that's my point. So you want to know that because that's part of your religion, right? Okay, so, but being here in America, how you doing? Hi, Happy New Year, good seeing you. You know what I'm saying? You have to still be well-rounded. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know anything about that. I just know about, when it comes to Muslims, I knew about the black Muslims, you know what I'm saying? Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, people like that, Minister Farrakhan. So I follow them and I do research a lot of their things and their topics, but you see what I'm saying? I do know about the black Muslim, and I'm not Muslim, but when they make such an impact in America, I gotta have some kind of knowledge of it for me to be well-rounded. Even Trump, they're giving it to you. I know a lot about Trump. You know, I know a lot about the Bushes, all of them. Jeb, George, Dad. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be well-rounded, and when you're well-rounded, bro, it makes you comprehend and understand people's situations differently. You understand that? So, you know, you're a father, you know what I'm saying? And my kids, I try to make them well-rounded. All situations. I don't teach racism. Well-roundedness is the key. So you have that same opportunity for your family. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be the head, it falls on your shoulders. So anytime. Yeah, you good. You good.
Sorry, fellas.
You good. What's up, brother?
Apologize.
No, you good. You good, man. So anytime you have opportunity to teach somebody history or just enlighten them about a situation they don't know nothing about, you should take it and run with it. You know, because it's just a moment that you can teach and touch, and they will never forget you, first of all, and it's gonna be informative to them. Because the things that we just shared with you about MLK, you didn't know. You know, so that's what it's about. It's always about reach one, teach one.
Right, and I like to say, when I first came to Tampa, my first babysitter, she was Muslim. She went to the mosque on Sly Avenue. So I got a chance. They have an event there every Friday, and you get to go there and socialize. Right. And I also started the education program called Istaba. I helped them supply all of that. You know, you heard of Istaba, the big school off of Sly. Well, it's not that big now. Okay, I'm one of the original people who started that. Because they were in my community, I needed to know something about them. You know, I know Iman and all of those different people. I know a lot of Muslims because of that area over there, because they were in my community. So I wanted to know how we could work together to help more people. So it's just that for some reason, and it's been so much evidence that a lot of groups come here and they stay in their little cul-de-sac. They get really isolated, and they don't get to, not that they need to be exposed to everything, but they need to know what's in their community and understand the history behind it. And that's something that it doesn't happen enough. It doesn't happen enough.
So, and basically, so the community will always be divided if that was the case. It would never be what it's supposed to be. You know, so that's like, so the inner cities, when you got gentrification is going on right here. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine, like, in the inner city all over Tampa, now it's being gentrified. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you move in, but you're not as friendly as who was already living there before. So now it's gonna be division in the community. So, you know, when I see people, when I started this place, it's the funniest shit ever. I started this place and white people would drive by, they'll wanna stop, but they was just terrified of the neighborhood. So look, they'll drive by like 5 times. I just walk to the road and stop. I say, listen, if you want to try to barbecue, ain't nobody gonna mess with you, man. Matter of fact, just come in and I'll take care of the first meal. And man, I got customers like that. They come in, Mike, hey Mike, you know what I'm saying? It's like family. That's the environment here. But that's gotta be the environment everywhere. Just imagine what it'll be like. You're not judged by the pigmentation of your skin, just by the character, your content of your character and what's in your heart. And that's all Dr. Martin Luther King was trying to do, you know what I'm saying? And it was met with resistance.
Right, you know? Right. There's a lot of good people out there, but it's also a lot of bad, and color doesn't distinguish that.
No,
it's just
no.
individuals, you know.
Right.
So this is what Dr. King taught us, you know, through the journey, through the fight, that, you know, judge me by the content of my character, not my skin color. And we still haven't covered that yet.
No.
We still haven't covered
But just imagine. It's black people doing podcasting.
Yeah.
Bruh, I like your work.
Yeah.
You do good work.
Yeah.
So just imagine, so if I'm not to the point where, I'm just gonna support my own. No, you do a good job for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? you do a good job.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I can find somebody that's black that's doing the same job. If I just, no, it's not about that, man. This man do a good job, and I appreciate you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what you gotta realize, you know what I'm saying? So just always be open-minded, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
And that's what we're trying to spread, right? We're trying to spread that positivity, and also ask parents to educate their children. If they don't have any information, get some information so your kid can be well-rounded. Right. Because now we're on a global path. We have to know a whole lot more than we used to. And the information is at our fingertips. Right. And always verify your information. Don't just get it and run with it. Verify it first, you know? So that's our take on Dr. Martin Luther King for January the 20th, and also a day of service, right? A day of service, and that's something we want to make sure we talk about.
Right, so we coming, man, we got the whole menu open. We got ribs, chicken, sausage, pork. How you doing, young lady? All right, and we mac and cheese, baked beans, potato salad, pineapple tea, drinks, DJ outside. It's gonna be a good time. And you know, we're looking forward to, this might be the biggest event ever. That's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
It's the biggest event ever, you know what I'm saying? If it is, we're gonna be prepared. We're gonna go from 10 we're gonna be here probably starting at 7 for us cooking. But we going hard, bro. For the community, and especially for this day, man. You know, nothing but good vibes.
Right, and I like to challenge the families and friends and community, learn something new about the leaders, the black leaders, because only too often they give us a little small paragraph when we have done world-changing events. So just learn more and be informed. That's what every human being needs to do, is learn more and be informed. And so we're gonna say enough about January the 20th. Gonna ask you to come out to Konan's BBQ, and let's have a wonderful year. What you like to say?
Hey, that's it, man. I can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to serve you guys on the 20th for the turnout for MLK. Nothing but good vibes.
Right.
On the yo, we out.
Bye, Tampa Bay. Thank you.